A federal judge has dismissed Donald Trump's $15 billion defamation lawsuit against the New York Times, its publisher, and two of its reporters, citing several procedural deficiencies in the legal filing. The ruling, issued by Judge Stephen Merryday in Florida, centered not on the merits of the defamation claims, but on the structure and content of the complaint itself. The decision is a significant setback for Trump's ongoing legal battles against media organizations he accuses of biased and false reporting. Summary and analysis. The lawsuit, an 85-page document, accused the New York Times of defamation for its coverage of Trump's financial dealings and alleged ties to Russian oligarchs. The complaint was a wide-ranging critique of the newspaper's reporting, but Judge Merryday found it to be more of a political statement than a valid legal document. He described it as a disjointed, rambling, and at times vituperative filing that failed to meet the basic requirements of federal court rules. Specifically, the judge pointed to Rule 8 of the Federal Rules of Civil Procedure, which requires a short and plain statement of the claim, showing that the pleader is entitled to relief. Instead of a clear, concise statement, the judge found the complaint to be filled with vituperation and invective, making it difficult to discern the specific claims being made. This procedural dismissal, rather than a dismissal with prejudice, gives Trump's legal team an opportunity to refile a revised, more compliant document. The judge set a 28-day deadline for a new complaint, which must not exceed 40 pages. This is a common practice in legal proceedings, allowing a party to correct a flawed filing without permanently barring them from pursuing their case. Reasons and consequences. The primary reason for the dismissal was the complaint's failure to adhere to legal formatting and substance rules. The judge's decision was a stern rebuke of the legal strategy, which appeared to prioritize public posturing over professional litigation. This ruling sends a clear message that courts will not tolerate legal filings that are essentially press releases disguised as complaints. A key consequence of this dismissal is the delay in the case. The legal process is now reset, and Trump's team must spend more time and resources to redraft the lawsuit. This prolongs the battle, which can be costly and emotionally draining for all parties involved. Furthermore, the public nature of the judge's criticism could impact the perception of the lawsuit, portraying it as less of a serious legal matter and more of a strategic publicity move. For the New York Times, the dismissal is a temporary victory. While they will still have to defend against a potential new complaint, the ruling confirms their initial assertion that the lawsuit was procedurally flawed. This could embolden other media organizations that have also been targeted by similar lawsuits from the former president. Predictions and solutions. Looking ahead, it's highly likely that Trump's legal team will file an amended complaint. Given the judge's specific instructions, this new document will need to be significantly shorter and more focused, clearly outlining the alleged defamatory statements and the legal basis for the claims. The challenge for Trump's lawyers will be to transform the sprawling, argumentative document into a concise and persuasive legal argument. They will need to identify the most potent examples of alleged defamation and present them in a way that meets the court's standards. A potential solution for Trump's legal team is to retain new counsel with extensive experience in media law and complex civil litigation. Such expertise could help them navigate the intricacies of a defamation case, particularly one involving a public figure where a high legal standard of actual malice must be proven. Actual malice means a plaintiff must show the defendant knew the information was false or acted with a reckless disregard for the truth. For the New York Times, their solution is simply to continue preparing their defense. They will need to meticulously document their reporting process to demonstrate their journalistic integrity and lack of actual malice in their work. The outcome of the refiled lawsuit, if it is not dismissed again, will depend on whether Trump's team can successfully meet the high bar of proving defamation against a media outlet. This case, like others, will likely set a precedent for how courts handle public figure defamation claims in the era of partisan media and political rhetoric.